Forest found. That's not something I see every day. A human running through elvish territory. Wait. Is he wounded? Looks like something got the upper hand on him. Must have run into one of the forest cats. If he keeps running like that, he might make it to the human settlement past our territory. Surely they will protect him. That's a blooded warhound. He's never going to make it if he was bitten by that thing. As he gets closer, I can see he must be a runaway prisoner or a slave. That would mean orcs. Curse it all under. He's fallen, but he's still breathing. I just have to wait for a clear shot on that hound. There you are, you ugly damnation. I hope it's not too late. I can't just leave him there to die. You're awake. Welcome back to this side of the veil, friend. Here, drink some water. It'll help get that taste out of your mouth. I had to force some potions down your throat while you were unconscious. Otherwise, your heart would have never started beating again. Warhound venom is lethal to humans, and a painfully slow death. This is a decoction of some herbs and spices to help settle your stomach. You might not feel it now, but you will later unless you drink this down. No, I'm afraid it doesn't taste very good, but it's better than stomach bile. Yes, the whole thing, please. See? Not so bad at all. Wait a little while, and I will give you some stew and bread. Looks like you could do with a proper meal. So what brought you to running past my post in the forest? I don't think in all of my 186 years I have seen a human in such a state within Elven territory. Why were you being chased by a warhound? Yes, I remember hearing about the raids from my garrison commander. Those cursed orcs think that anything weaker than them is fair game. I am truly sorry to hear about your village. Sometimes I wish Elvenkind wasn't so hesitant to interfere for the sake of those like yourself. Oh, yes, I am. I'm an Ironleaf bowman, humble servant to the Wood Elf King Rainier III. My name? Oh, my apologies. I'm Maddie Lil, daughter of Lady Brandylin. Yes, the very one and the same. To me, she was just my mother. But to the world, she was one of the greatest heroes in our histories. It was an honor growing up with her, but a terrible curse of expectation. How are you feeling? Is your side or arm bothering you? Do you mind if I take a look? It's been a few hours since I last changed your wrappings. I want to keep an eye on your wounds. I did manage to neutralize the venom, but I am afraid the fresh damage is pretty significant. I am not the most talented healer, but I did manage to keep myself alive through the 20-year siege of Cantiel's Hold. I'm sorry. Let me gather some things for another poultice. The bleeding has stopped, but you're inflamed, and I don't want infection to settle in deeper than it already has. Yes. You're in my home. I would have taken you to the healer in Nightwood, but we aren't supposed to bring outsiders there. I live closer to the edge of the forest because the Ironleaf Regiment is the first defense against intruders. And it also has nothing to do with my knack for frustrating those in command above. May I have your finger? I need a bit of your blood to activate the magic required for the poultice to work properly. You have very lovely hands. I'll be quick about this. Thank you. Et tu fexis voi, no deum getria desh. Et tu fexis voi, no deum getria desh. This will hurt at first, but I promise the discomfort will ebb away soon. Okay. Try to hold still. I know, Fexis Foy, I know. Don't look. I am almost done. Here we are. It's all over. Wrapping it up now. Can you lean forward? I need to get this around you to keep it secure. Wonderful. Thank you. Now then, lay back and let me help you get propped up. Are you warm enough? I've never tended to a human before, so I'm unsure how to properly make you comfortable. Oh, I suppose you're right. There can't be much difference between us in the regards of being comfortable. Are you ready to rest? Please, don't stay awake for my benefit. Sleep can be the kindest escape when you're in pain. Well, if that's what you wish, I'm sure I can think of something to recount for you. I hope you don't mind if I enjoy some of my wineskin while I speak. I would offer you some, but I'm afraid it wouldn't aid in your healing, friend. I will tell you the tale of the Moontide Maid. In the early days of Elven kind, we were one people. There were no high elves or wood elves, no dark or light, just peace. We treated other kinds fairly. We didn't hide away and avoid helping those in need. Greed and the dark machinations of war hadn't taken hold in our kingdom yet. The only darkness that gripped elves was their vanity. Elisee the Silver was a maiden who was beloved by all. It is said that her beauty was ethereal and was rivaled by none, save the moon. She had long, silvery white hair and eyes that made sailors feel at home when they looked into them. Her talents lay in her voice, and she was often seen at court singing for royalty. Some tell the story of her being royalty herself, a princess. But I will tell you the version my mother told me, and that her mother told her. Elisee lived by the great sea, preferring to be close to the water instead of in the palace with the other favored musicians and performers. She was simple, and I think that's what made her even more lovely. She never had need of ornaments or grandiose things. She was just content with her freedom and being by the sea. One day, as she was attending to her home, she heard a great crash against the rocks on the shore. Confused as to what it was, she went outside to see what it had been. It had been a merchant's ship, but now it was just broken pieces that were washing ashore. Afraid for those who'd been aboard, Elsie rushed to the water and began searching for the survivors. She found only the dead, until she found him. A halfling, elf and human. He was near death, but his heart was still beating. It took her whole strength, but she managed to get him to her home. For many days and nights, she nursed the man back to health. He was the son of an elven man and a human woman, from a village she'd never been to, but heard of often. His name was Rednar. He wasn't what we would speak of as handsome, but he was kind. He grew stronger and stronger, helping Elsie with repairs on her home and chores as needed. The cold nights brought them together over warm food and bread. Most often meat Rednar had provided from his skills with hunting or fishing. His soul spoke to hers, and soon enough, the differences between them no longer mattered. They were in love. Seasons passed before Elsie and Rednar decided to bind themselves to one another beneath a full moon in spring. They were truly happy. Their days filled with joy, their nights filled with passion. And neither of them was surprised when the day came Elsie discovered she was with child. Soon, though, she was beckoned away to perform for the king and queen. Without hesitation, Elsie packed them a bag and they went. Rednar was eager to see the palace from her stories, to meet her friends and behold elven royalty. Elsie the Silver was eager to share her joy of being an expectant mother with the other ladies at court. But to their unfortunate surprise, they were met with shock and disbelief. Silence had fallen over the crowds at court when she came forth to introduce her love to the king and queen. Many whispered hatefully. The king scowled and the queen gasped in horror. "You dare let this ugly thing soil you with its filth? You bound yourself to it, willingly?" The same day of their arrival, they were chased away. Mobs of angry male elves rose up and threatened to kill Rednar, lamenting how Elsie could have done such a terrible thing. They were chased all the way back to their home by the sea, to the angry tides that beat the shore. It was as if the sea itself was trying to frighten the mobs away. Despite Elsie's begging, Rednar was murdered before her, a short sword right through his heart. It said her scream pierced the night sky. Her tears joined the violent waves as they grew more and more swift. Her grief was unleashed on the men who stood there wallowing in their glory. One last time she began to sing for them. In the moonlight, breaking through the clouds, she began to glow like a star. She cast a spell over them, making them all follow her as she dragged the body of her love into the sea. The men were never seen again, said to have been pulled out by the undertow. Elsie was also never seen again, though some later said that in the spring, under a full moon, you could see a silver-haired maiden holding a babe to her chest, singing a sad lullaby. Some sailors have seen her in the water, beckoning them to her. Most forgot her name with time. Most call her the Moontide Maid, the first siren. Go to sleep, Vexisisvoy, my forest found. You are safe here. No more harm will ever befall you again. And will be here when you wake, ready to tend to you.